Well, to quote Lloyd Christmas from the movie Dumb and Dumber that came out back in 1994, played by one of my favorite actors, Jim Carrey. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, the Calgary Stampeders. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. Hi there, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Calgary Stampeders game day video post. We're in week 20 of the 2023 CFL regular season. Heading down in the stretch drive, second last week of the regular season. Well, believe it or not, despite the fact that the Calgary Stampeders are 5-11, we still have a chance to make the playoffs, as we had a big victory against the Saskatchewan Roughriders at home with a 26-19 victory. That means the Calgary Stampeders have at least clinched the season series with the Saskatchewan Roughriders if we happen to be tied in the standings, taking 2 out of 3. However, this will not be easy this week, as the Calgary Stampeders will be playing their last road game of the 2023 regular season, as they will be under the dome unless they open up if it's a nice day in Vancouver on Friday, October the 20th. We'll be going to BC to take on the BC Lions, and the BC Lions have already beaten the Calgary Stampeders twice already this season. Week 1, we lost 25-15 at home. And week 10, we weren't even on the same playing field, as we lost 37-9. So the odds are still stacked against the Calgary Stampeders to win this week. However, either way, whatever happens in the game, I'm still going to be cheering the Toronto Argonauts on, because the Toronto Argonauts, they play the Saskatchewan Roughriders on the road, as Saskatchewan has their last game of the regular season, as they won't be playing in week 21 as they're done. So depending on what happens in this game, the Toronto Argonauts would still have to say if the Calgary Stampeders would still have another life or make the playoffs or get eliminated. Because how the playoff scenarios work out, and the BC Lions, they actually still have something to play for, as they are 11-5, essentially reciprocated the record of the Calgary Stampeders. The BC Lions, if they win this game, they are still in the hunt for potentially finishing first in the West Division and host the West Final. But the BC Lions also have lost the season series with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers still be at home against the Edmonton Elks. So regardless of what happens in this game on Friday, BC will be doing some scoreboard watching too for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, because if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeat the Edmonton Elks, Winnipeg clinches first in the West, and BC will be finished second. But either way, I'm thinking this could be a potential playoff preview for the Calgary Stampeders, because if the Calgary Stampeders do manage to pull off the upset, then the pressure will be on the Saskatchewan Roughriders to have to win or they're done. And if, let's say, if Calgary loses and Saskatchewan wins, Calgary's eliminated. Or if both teams between Calgary and Saskatchewan win, then the last home game for the Calgary Stampeders on Friday, October 27th, there'll still be something to play for Calgary, and if they win, they make the playoffs. That's the little playoff picture in the nutshell, but I'm going to say this will still be a challenge for the Calgary Stampeders, given the season series. However, I think maybe that big second half comeback, I mean, Saskatchewan did outplay Calgary in that game, but when you have a fumble recovery on special teams where you set up shop at the 10-yard line, that gives you a short field. And I have a pick six, which Cameron Judge did in the second half to get a touchdown. And then Jake Mayer and the offense actually got together in the fourth quarter for a big clutch touchdown drive that Tommy Stevens ran in. If the Calgary Stampeders can do that all game against the BC Lions, we should be in for a great game. And if we can get that for the whole game, maybe the Stampeders could be able to pull off an upset not only tomorrow, but let's say on Saturday, November the 4th. If we happen to win, we would be likely hosting the BC Lions. We're not hosting, going to BC for the second straight year in the West semifinal. I can dream at this point. But the Calgary will actually get some reinforcements back for this game. As Reggie Bagleton, he missed the game last week. He'll be back. He got banged up in Hamilton, and even the bye week wasn't enough for him to back in the lineup. And Bryce Bell will actually be back on the offensive line. So Calgary will actually get some reinforcements back. We still will have the running attack of Jim Carrey and Peyton Logan, as Dedrick Mills is still out. But we have still two great running backs. I'm going to say Jake Maier, well, he had a busy week himself as he missed practice on the other day, but that was because he was on baby watch, and actually his wife or significant other actually gave birth. So Jake Maier is now Daddy Jake Maier. So maybe that could motivate him as well to have a great game for the Calgary Stampeders. On the BC side of the ball, I mean, Vernon Adams Jr., well, he's actually going to be still playing despite having a little bit of a sore knee. However, he actually has Calgary's number, as he's actually one of the few quarterbacks recent years that actually has a winning record as a starter against the Calgary Stampeders. I am expecting, hopefully, not like that bland game that we had in the season opener, but that was the season opener, and I'm not expecting a blowout. I am expecting a good, tight game. Both teams have something to play for. BC will still be looking at potentially, if they get some help, hosting the West Final. While the Calgary Stampeders, they would like nothing more to put the pressure on the Saskatchewan Roughriders to say, you have to win or you're out. Or at least worst case scenario, have Calgary still play for something against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the 27th. And let's say if that game still has some meaning for Calgary, could it be meaning for Winnipeg if they know they have first place wrapped up if they happen to win? So there's still a lot of playoff scenarios to decide. I mean, right now, all we know for sure is the Toronto Argonauts will be hosting the East Final on Saturday, November the 11th. Hamilton will still be hosting the big game on Sunday, November 19th for the Grey Cup, the 110th Grey Cup. Who will be there? Well, we don't know that yet till the finals. And that the Montreal Alouettes and Hamilton Tiger-Cats will be playing each other in the East semifinal. The West, we still have some stuff to decide. But the Calgary Stampeders still have a chance. So that's all I have for the Calgary Stampeders game day video post. Oh yeah, I just got to throw in that Tommy Lee Lewis actually is gone from the team the rest of the year. He has some personal reasons. I think he also was on baby watch or being a new father. So he's going to be not on the team for the rest of the year. So be interested to see who's going to return, because Floyd Allen, who did draw into the lineup for the Calgary Stampeders at receiver, filled in for Reggie Bagleton, was doing some returns as well, is back on the practice roster. So that remains to be seen. But I still like the fact that we still have a chance. We actually still have, I'm going to say, slightly better odds. Let's just make it a lot easier on ourselves and pull off an upset win to put the pressure on the Saskatchewan Roughriders, right? That's the deal. Because if we are going to make the playoffs, we are probably going to be seeing the BC Lions again in 3 weeks' time, or 2 weeks' time at this stage right now. So, to close it out, say if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and I have my other social media links down in the description below. As mostly you have Calgary sports content. I have been trying to catch up with a lot more of it recently. I did recently unbag some jerseys, and eventually I got some shirts I want to unbag, and let's give another tease that there's some CFL tie-in with that as well. Let's wait, shock some people what CFL stuff I bought. So as I say, go Stamps go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.